That was in
You got
2020.
low ass interest on that. That is impossible.
2020. So it was right before.
Right before it was like January, February.
No, it was before that. It was like because we closed.
It was during the pandemic.
July. No, so it was July of 2020.
Oh wait, why you say no then? That's during the pandemic.
Well, yeah, I guess it is.
I was in
during,
Portland.
Yeah.
So
it was just right. It was just when
right
it
when
hit.
it started.
Yeah,
But
right when it started. So I was like, I don't know what this pandemic is. Like, I don't
also
know.
you're here in
everybody's
Idaho.
like, what is this going on? And so then I found this place, and we were able to close on it, and all of a sudden the next year interest rates jumped up, but I was locked in at a very, very low interest rate.
Damn.
So I was good to go.
Lucky dog.
And then everybody else is, now at 7, 6, and I'm just like, holy cow, I lucked out. So,
Dude, there's this book. Oh, what's it fucking called? The War of Art. That's what it's called. The War of Art. Oh, I can't remember the fucking guy's name. Normally I can, but the War of Art. And he talks about, oh no, I'm thinking about Outliers. Maxwell, like Gladwell, Maxwell. Fuck, something
man,
like that. It's
you
called
read
Outliers.
a lot more books than I do.
I've been churning through these days. I listen to my audiobooks at like 2.3 speed.
Oh yeah. That's I read like 4 or 5 books, and they're the same ones, and I read them over and over, and they're just like,
oh, you're on repeat.
Yeah, I'm on repeat, man.
There must be some pretty good books, dude. But Outliers, he talks about people. It's like a observational log of all the outlier people in our society. And one of the examples is like the Beatles. One was like South Korea Air. Just they go through all these things that are outliers, And one thing that they go about with the Beatles, where was I going with this? The one thing that with the Beatles, what was it? What were we just talking about right before that?
The interest rates.
Oh, timing. That's what I was saying.
Timing.
There's something important about the time that the outliers, like they hit perfect rhythm, perfect timing for special events.
That was me with everything that I do. It was perfect. I mean, life is timing.
So you're saying life, you have no control. It's almost destiny.
Well, you still have to, like, man, a lot of kids might have not nutted up and was like, dude, it's scary buying your first home, right? Yeah. Like it is. It's scary. Like I could have said, oh no, I don't want to do this. Like I don't want to put myself in that. But I said, no, I'm going to make it happen. So I did it, and I was a little scared, but.
However, I understand where you're coming from, that it requires execution.
Right.
It requires work.
Yes.
And being brave enough to pull the trigger. But don't you think that during that special window, there were people who were they were late to the game. They were scared, and the timing worked out coincidentally perfect for people who even waited too long or something. And then it's just, you know what I mean?
There's never a perfect time.
Yeah. But maybe people who just casually fell into it at the right time.
Yeah. That happens. That happens too.
So then you have to account for all the data. Then that would probably mean that there's destiny of sorts. You just kind of fucking happened. You were working hard. Maybe someone wasn't working hard. You both fell into the opportunity.
Yes, it can happen like that. But sometimes I get a little frustrated when people that don't work hard and they fall into those opportunities. Maybe that's bad of me to say, but I'm like mad that I'm over here working hard. This individual's not, but somehow that individual fell into something. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. But maybe, I mean, I guess that would come down to just jealousy, huh? Because if it's the journey that matters, then you would just love the journey.
Yeah.
Or is it the end result and you want to get there first?
Oh, man, you're asking tough questions.
Oh, yeah, these are my space questions.
The cream will always rise to the top. I will say that. So over time, right? Like if we were both handed an opportunity, right? If I keep working hard, it's going to help me in the long run. But if that individual that was just kind of, not working hard but fell into it, if he doesn't work hard over amount of time, what he has will diminish and he won't have that anymore. So that's the cream will rise to the top.
It's almost like gambling. Like you could get lucky. I won money. And then you're like, let me just keep putting money. I won again. I'm lucky. I'm on a lucky streak. But odds are the truth's going to hit you eventually. Because like you could hit that perfect timing on every event, and you just keep meeting the right people, keep running into the right places, doing the right things just by the luck of the draw. But if you don't have the hard work and skill underneath, the moment the luck ends, you're fucked.
And I'd like to, I guess, create my own luck by putting myself in those positions where I do meet the right people at the right time. I take advantage of meeting those people, building good relations.
Why would you consider that luck, though? Why does luck get to be able to hold weight over your work?
I mean, I like luck. If luck wants to be on my side, I'll take luck too.
It's probably just like because of the coincidental nature of the universe, just in general. It feels lucky. Like, what are the odds? But it's almost like the universe places things into
it's funny
your lap.
because everybody, if you talk to anybody, they're like, man, Mitch is the luckiest person I know.
I hate that.
I guess so. When they say that, it pisses me off. But you know what?
Dude,
I'm lucky.
Dude, people have told me the same thing. They go, "You're so lucky you get to do what you love for a living."
Yep.
And it's like
they have a decision. They could be doing what they love too. Yeah. Right. But I'd like to say I'm fortunate. It's more than luck. I'd rather say I'm fortunate.
I think there's something you said that I feel like encapsulates everything that we're trying to hit. You nutted up.
I know. I can't believe I said that.
You got to
nut it up. That's what I told my mom. I was like, I ain't going to be scared. I'm going to do it, Mom. I'm going to nut up and I'm going to buy this place.
No way. Is that really what you said?
My mom was like, this is a big deal. This is a big deal. My dad. Yeah.
Your dad.
And then my brother, he always says, hey, scared money don't make money. So.
You got to risk it to get the biscuit.
Yep, exactly. And I risk it every single day.
Dude, that was my senior quote. For you get like a quote you put in the yearbook. That's
right
what I chose.
Underneath your picture, your senior year.
I don't know. I think it must be right there. Yeah, but we all chose quotes, and that was the one I chose.
Risk it for the biscuit.
You got to risk it to get the biscuit.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I've been living a bit too much like that. I'm a little gambler, dude. I like the high.
Man, I love gambling.
I like blackjack.
So that's my favorite game.
No way.
I grew up in Winnemucca in Nevada.
Yeah.
Right. It's a cool story. So I got a fake ID when I turned 18 from my cousin, and we would go into the casino there in Winnemucca. It's just one little casino, but it has 3 tables. And at 18, I started going in there and started gambling. Like I'd take like $50 and I'd go in there and I'd try and roll to 200 and then I'd take everything out.
What was your game you would go to at that age?
Blackjack.
You would go to blackjack?
Yeah.
Yeah. How was your game strategy at that time?
Man, it's tough because they have like 6 shoes in there.
Oh, is it the auto shuffler thing too?
Yes. Oh. But they had the side bets with the flushes
aside
and I would make more money on that side bet than
you're a side better.
I have to, and I don't. If I'm gonna play it, I'm gonna play it. If I'm not gonna play it that night, I won't.
It's just making the decision if you're going to gamble or not.
Yeah. But I did make a lot of money. I did make a lot of money on those side bets. So I was 18, right? Gambled for a couple of years. My brother's a year and a half younger than I am. He hits 18. So then I slip him this fake ID. So then we're sitting at the table together and we're rolling them. We always say we're going to go shut the lights off tonight. And we're, still teenagers we're gambling illegally, sneaking in. And one night my brother took him for like a lot of money, and I like a lot of money. And then
blackjack.
Yeah.
What was your guys'
my brother rolled one night with like $7,000 out of there.
What would you start with though?
Like $100.
No way.
Yes. That's what I'm saying, man. We'd lose $100, $200, but we'd just start with $100 to $200. And then I remember one night I walked in there with $10. We were driving down the boulevard in Winnemucca, and I was like, I got $10, and they're $5 hands, minimum hands. I went in there with $10 and I walked out of there with 150. So sometimes we would just roll in there with what we had.
How was your betting strategy?
It just depended on what the shoe was kind of feeling like.
So it's vibes.
Yeah.
You're straight gambling. You're straight vibing.
Like if I have a good third base player and they're helping out the table.
You're not very mathematical.
No, I ain't trying to do that. I'm not trying to count no cards. Anything
What about
like
just
that.
basic blackjack strategy?
Yeah, basic. That's how my brother and I play. Basic blackjack strategy, and it depends on how many people we got sitting at the table.
How about? Do you know any of the deviations?
No.
This like, oh yeah, because that's associated with the count.
Yeah, But if it's like my brother and myself playing, and there's just two of us, and we got like a single deck. I mean, single deck. I try
That's
and
jackpot.
keep. Yeah, I try and keep track of face cards and stuff like that. You know?
See when a bunch of little cards come out.
Yeah.
When all the little cards come out.
Yeah, all of a sudden a big one's gonna come, so you might
It's
not
the
want to
hope,
hit it. Yeah,
but it's still
yeah.
straight gamble. It's
Yeah.
funny because they treat counting cards like it's illegal. You shouldn't. It's bad. Don't let them catch you. But it doesn't matter. You don't know what exactly. You just know the odds are more likely by a percent.
In my favor or the house's favor.
Yeah, by 1%.
Yeah.
By 1%. It's not 50-50. Now you understand that it's like 49.5 and 50.5. You know what I mean?
This is my brother's strategy, and I love this saying. He always is like, I'm not going in here to make a house payment. I'm going to go in here and have so much fun. I don't give a shit. And that's one night in Vegas, he walked out with 10,000.
That's the way to do it, dude. I've seen just dudes
and he just kept betting, man, $100,
Yeah.
$100.
Those
and
people who are fearless.
I was in jackpot. My goal was just to hit $1,000 in a short amount of time. I was putting in a shift. I was there like for 6 hours, but I'd bet $100 a hand, I'd get to 900, and then they'd take a couple hundred from me, and then all of a sudden they took all of it.
And then you're like, if I just pull some out of the ATM.
Yeah, I'll just go see the ATM.
Yeah,
I'll
get it back.
I limit myself. If I'm going to go with the cash, I can't go to the ATM.
That's a smart way because you do feel enticed.
Yeah.
You're like, I could probably win it back.
I love playing cards though, man.
And hanging out with those people is just so fun.
Yeah.
It's a good fun crowd. The blackjack
Especially if you get a good dealer and they're dealing cards.
They got bits and shit. They're like fucking saying their damn comedy things they've been practicing pretty much.
Yeah, there's a couple guys at Barton's.
Yeah.
93.
They're funny.
Those guys practice dealing cards a lot.
Oh, just dealing. But I feel like they're practicing their bits too on every single crowd they come up. I hear the same joke sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm like, you said this last time, dude.
Yeah. I heard this 2 weeks ago, Jim.
Yeah. Do you remember any of their names? Do you You're regular.
Not a jackpot. There's in Winnemucca at Winners, there's Wanda. There's Jim, but he had his card. His name tag, he spelled it two different ways. He'd spell it JIM on one side, and then another night we go in there and he has it spelled like Jim.
Like GYM?
Like GYM. We're like, Jim, what are you doing with your name? And he starts laughing and he flip-flops it. Gosh. Yeah.
Sounds
but
like
my brother and myself and my other friends, we were regulars at Winners Casino, but we call it losers.
Where the hell is Winnemucca?
Winnemucca is an hour and a half west of Elko on I-80.
Is it? What's the population
of Winnemucca? Man, oof. I don't know, 14, 20,000 people, somewhere in there.
Oh, it's big.
I don't know. Maybe not that big. I don't know.
What's it like for a town around here? Just like Buell?
Oh, Buell.
Castleford.
No, way bigger than Castleford. I'd say like Rupert. We had 900
Let's just
kids.
stick with Buell. I know Buell.
Yeah, let's stick with Buell. We had
that's
about
3,000.
1,000 kids. About 1,000 kids in our high school.
Oh, that's big.
So,
yeah. How big was your graduating class?
220 something kids.
Bigger than Buell then. Winnemucca sounds like a sticks town.
Man, it is. Like if you drive I-80 and you go through, you kind of look at it and be like, oh man, what a shithole.
Really? Is it the river?
Yeah, there's a river right there. The Humboldt River.
So that's the thing to do, huh?
I don't know. It's a muddy. It's not like the Snake River. No, it's not like that. You drive by it and it's just dark brown, sketchy water. Yeah,
just your lack of enthusiasm when I said, "Is there a river?" And you're like,
"Yeah, I wouldn't say." Yeah, it's nasty.
What's it called?
The Humboldt River.
Humboldt.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Humboldt?
Yeah, I never heard of it.
HUMBOLDT.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, Humboldt River.
Yeah, pretty dirty.
Oh, nasty, man. Nasty water.
So what do you do out there for fun? That's like nuclear waste site, right?
Yeah, not. No, it's not a nuclear waste site. We stayed pretty active with sports. Like throughout high school, I was always in a sport.
Okay. Yeah. What level are you guys? 3A?
Yeah, 3A.
Oh, dang. So you guys would go against Buell probably.
Yeah, we would.
In what?
I know the wrestlers come up here.
Damn, I don't remember.
Like, how about, have you heard of Spring Creek?
Yeah, Spring Creek.
Yeah,
Wait, in Nevada?
Spring Creek in Nevada. So they're the same division as us. We'd wrestle them all the time.
Yeah, I was at the Spring Creek tournament.
Yep.
We were similar times. We were probably there at the same time.
Probably. When did you graduate?
2012.
So I graduated in 2011. So guaranteed.
Oh, no.
We were Lowry. Lowry High School.
Lowry, that sounds familiar now.
Yeah, we won every tournament. I'm not joking. We're the most successful wrestling. I swear to God, look it up. We are the most we have 13 state titles in the state.
Wait,
of
what
Nevada.
did you get? Were you a state
Yeah, I was a state champ.
champ?
Yeah, at 119.
I have no room to talk.
Yeah, 119 state champ.
I'm laughing over here. I didn't. I went out in state pretty quick. I went to state, but then I didn't last very long in the tournament. I went to the losers bracket. I think I won one, and then went up, and then lost.
And that year, I want to say we had 7 state champs on the team. We didn't lose a duel for 6 years.
Damn, why are you guys so crazy?
Our coaching staff.
Who was the coach?
At that time, there was John Brooks and Korak.
What was wrestling practice like?
It was hell, man.
I see the
It
pain.
was stupid. It's like my 7th period class would come around, and I was like, oh, hell no. That means practice is coming up soon. And sometimes we'd have morning run, and then we'd have practice after. And then on the days we didn't have morning run, we'd run, and then we'd practice. And it was hell, man.
Yeah.
Practice was not fun. If someone said that practice was fun in that program, they're not working hard enough.
Dude, so what was the structure like? So for mine, it was warm up, probably drill some moves, maybe do like a bull in the ring kind of thing or something like that, and then cardio, probably.
Yeah, so we'd start off, we'd stretch, we'd go over kind of what our goals were for that week. If we were going to duels or a tournament, then we would start like our technique, and then we'd start live wrestling, and then we'd live wrestle and not just roll around. We were live wrestling for an hour.
To pins or to what? To takedowns?
Yeah, we do takedowns.
Back up, takedown, back up.
Yep. And then we would just do, our cardio was the best. Like we would always take down. Like if we had the choice, we're taking down every time, and we'll beat you from
the bottom.
You're not going to be able to roll with us.
Explode.
Yeah. And then after all of that of live wrestling for an hour, we would finish with cardio, and we would run again.
That's the most important thing in wrestling, honestly. The technique, you need it. But if you get too exhausted, your technique leaves.
I wasn't even that technical.
What would you do?
I just, at one point, I just put it in my head, like, I'm not going to lose no more.
And what was your moves?
And I had a coach.
What were your moves?
My moves, single leg. And then, like, if I got on top, I'd go to like an Anderson bar or.
What's an Anderson bar? I don't know what that is.
Man, it's hard to describe. Like, we had this thing called, man, we'd 2-on-1 to the butt. Have you ever heard that? That's
some gay Lowry shit right there.
It got us 13 state titles. So, man, like, fuck, it does sound bad. But that's what we called 2-on-1 to the butt, man. And
I learned this one in prison.
They'd go down to the back. I'd work out that Anderson bar. I'd come around and, but like, double legs.
Is that a move to secure a pin? Is that what the Anderson bar is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds kind of like a head and arm vibe.
Man,
or something.
I like to just take down, let them up, take down.
Oh yeah, you go for points.
Yeah.
My coach was Anthony Bartlett, and he was like the points leading record guy for Idaho, and was like a 4-time state champ. And I hated wrestling the same way. I fucking hate my friend is the reason I did it, because I had started junior year, but then I got a job at McDonald's and was like, oh, I can't do this anymore. But it was really my soul breaking from the practices, because I didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And then an excuse appeared. McDonald's, go make money, work, get pimples all over your face and gain weight and just hate your life. Yeah. And then it's my senior year came around. And I was like, you know what? I'm doing sports full. Like I'm gonna do it. And I did football and I did wrestling, stuck them all out like loyal, but we would do lifting in the mornings, and then we'd have weightlifting class in the daytime too for class, you know, and then practice in the evening after school. Oh, dude, wrestling is just fucking exhausting.
That's why I think I can do anything in life. If you can get through a season of wrestling, man, you can make it. You can make it.
It does suck.
It did, man. It was so
Especially
tough, and those coaches would be
deprived.
proud. Like I'm happy they made it like that. And I had
It's necessary.
Coach Jim Billingsley was his name. He wrestled at Boise State. I mean, one of the greatest coaches in Nevada history. And he was an asshole, right? And if he saw this, he would know. But that's what his job was. Like, he knew there was a day, and I still remember it. We were in Fernley, Nevada, and I lost. And I shouldn't have lost to this kid. And I was kind of feeling sorry for myself.
Do you remember how it happened?
I just didn't wrestle good. Like he just beat me.
You just started giving up a little bit.
No, I wasn't giving up, but I didn't wrestle to my full capability.
Intelligently? Or you didn't give it all out there. You should have exploded.
I should have, yeah. I should have exploded a little more. Like I should have gave more heart. Let's just say that. A little bit more heart. And he chewed my ass. He like took me outside and said, don't feel sorry for yourself. No one in here feels sorry for you. So at the end of the day, the only person that's going to make it happen is you. So either figure it out or you're not going to win. And he walked away. And I sat there and I was like, man, I don't want to lose anymore.
You have tears in your eyes.
And man, I did. I was like, oh, feel sorry for myself.
Yeah.
What he didn't want me to do.
Yeah.
Don't feel sorry for yourself. And I didn't lose another match the rest of the year.
That's fucking gangster, dude. That's
Didn't
awesome.
lose another match.
You sucked the tear back up.
Yeah, I was like, game on. And
wow.
in my state championship match, I was beating this kid 5-1, and somehow, man, I went in on a single leg, and this kid was known, he spladled guys all the time.
That's the one that makes you go into the splits?
Yeah, man, upside down makes you look stupid.
Yeah.
Your head's
Ass
by
in the
your
air.
nuts. Yeah,
Ass
in the air. Your face is by your nuts. You're just helpless. You can't do anything. He had me in
Dominator.
that. Somehow I rolled out of it.
Would you just keep going backwards?
No, I don't know what I did, man. I couldn't tell you. I'd have to watch the film again. Wow. But I got out. And if you look at the whole crowd was like, no. And my coach, he was like, he threw his hands on his head. He turned around and he was like, he's done. There's state right there.
Yeah. This is for the state championship?
This is state championship match. And I'm winning 5-1. 5-1 in the second round.
What?
And so somehow I roll out of that. And I was like, I ain't fucking doing that again. So I stayed away, and then I ended up beating him.
Points?
Yeah, by points. Wow. I think it was.
So you got an escape.
Yeah, I don't know how I got out of it, man. I would have to watch the film again.
You must have been quick. You didn't get near fall damage, or
no? He
damage.
did. He did.
Or you got points?
Yeah, he got 2 points out of that because I wasn't there long, and then man, after that I can't remember. I got another. I quit doing single legs. I didn't mess around.
Is that the window for it? For the spladle?
Yeah, and then if like he sprawls and you have a single leg, like
single legs are so easy though. You just
yeah, but man, some of those long lanky guys, like they can throw the legs in and do some.
They do backflips and shit.
Yeah,
you ever see people do that?
Double legs. Yeah, I can do. I can. Yeah, I had a kid get one of my legs, and this was in practice. Actually, this was like 2 years ago. I went back to the high school and I was wrestling around with the kids.
Oh my gosh!
And this is a funny story. I go into the wrestling room, and this kid looked at the coach and was like, "Is this that rodeo clown?"
Oh!
And I was like, "What the fuck did this kid just say, rodeo clown?" And the coach was like, "No," and pointed at my name because all the state champs' names are on the wall. And so then I was like, I'm wrestling him when we go to live wrestling.
Oh my God.
And he swoops in, picks up a single, and I like baited him. I let him have it. I was sitting there hopping, and he was kind of smiling like, oh yeah, I got a single leg. And he was just going to tip me over. As soon as he lifted it up, boom, I black flipped out of it, do a double leg, put him down on the ground, and I just put his head in the mat. I was like, yeah, this rodeo clown ain't going to take that.
Dude, don't you feel so much stronger than a kid now? Like as a high schooler.
I'm a grown man.
Yeah, right? There's like grown
I'm
men.
a grown man. I wish I
had.
had this when I was in high school. And I was small in high school too.
Dude.
I was small, like my body. I was
right?
119.
19.
And I matured later on.
Yeah.
Same with my brother. Like I wish my parents held both of us back.
Oh yeah.
Like if I had another year.
Oh, you cheater.
Yeah, I would, man. I would do it.
You already got state championship. Yeah. What more do you want? What more do you want? You just want to smear kids' faces.
It's never enough, man. It's never enough.
You just
yeah. I felt bad too because I only wrestled my junior year. I didn't wrestle my freshman and sophomore year. So I just came in, and this poor kid from Moapa, he's a senior. I'm a junior. He's been the state runner-up 3 years in a row. I'm this nobody that come from the basketball court that wanted to wrestle this year, and I ended up beating him. And
it's a meritocracy.
Hey, man.
If you're the best, you're the best.
I guess so.
That's how it works.
That year, I was the best.
Yeah. He would be a false best if you let him have it. It wouldn't have been real.
Exactly.
So the real, that's what matters.
Yeah. I'm the real
Don't
state
feel bad
champ.
for that kid.
Yeah, I don't feel bad.
He sucks. Oh, no, he's all right. Yeah, dude, I went back to my high school too and did some wrestling. And yeah, I was honestly going there. I was like kind of nervous. Like, man, I haven't wrestled in forever. Like, what are these kids fucking work? I mean, there's some big kids in there. But that goes out you were stronger. Like,
you're a different human now. Yeah.
You're bigger and stronger. They feel like kids still a bit.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
they're like
yeah.
little kids.
I mean, even though they're bigger than me,
Yeah.
and they just, I don't know. It's called old man strength.
But there's I'm just thinking about the new martial arts kids growing up these days doing jujitsu since like 3 years old. There's fucking ninjas out there.
Oh, yeah. I watch Flow Wrestling sometimes, and Flow Wrestling has some kids that are just,
Dude, they're getting good.
they're doing some weird shit, man. Like,
how many people were on your wrestling team?
man, they weeded out because it was so tough. We start like with 40 kids. Everybody wanted to be a part of a championship wrestling program. And then middle of the season, we'd be down to 20. And then pretty soon we just had, a JV squad and a varsity squad. And there was, probably 25 kids.
Oh, that's still pretty big.
Yeah.
My year, it was small. I think like 10. Like people didn't join. And it wasn't even cool to be a wrestler during my era.
Oh, yeah, same, man. We'd get made fun of all the time.
Singlets.
Singlets. Oh, look at his nuts. Oh, yeah. No, honestly, you go to a dual meet and all the kids come to watch, and they're just staring at us in our singlets, and they making jokes about us. But they ain't tough enough to hang out though in that wrestling room.
And dude, instantly wrestling levels up your fighting.
Yeah,
you're a better fighter if you're a wrestler.
But that's it. If I got into it on the streets. If I have to go to the ground, I'll go to the ground.
Yeah, the thing is, you can take them to the ground if you want.
Yep.
If you want.
Yep.
So they can't take you down if they want.
Nope.
You have advantage.
Yes.
You decide where it's going to happen. So you're a wrestler. You didn't do any other sports?
Yeah. No, I played football.
You were a baseball guy too, weren't you?
Yep. I played. So my freshman, sophomore, up until my junior year, I played football, basketball, baseball. And then junior, I did football, wrestling, baseball, and then did that again my senior year. And I loved football, man.
What were you in football?
Quarterback.
Quarterback, of course you were.
Yep. Quarterback and DB.
So you can throw good. So you're like you'll throw it to people, and then you'll throw it to me.
I had two receivers. I'd hit my slot receiver or my running back. I was always throwing on the move. We ran the wing T back in the day. Like we didn't run much shotgun or anything. We stuck with the old wing T offense, and we ran the veer a lot and option. And that's if I was throwing, it was on the move. I was always moving when I was throwing. I mean, all my linemen were taller than me, so I couldn't see. Sometimes I just close my eyes and throw it up there, and my man, Jace Billingsley, who actually played for Detroit, he's like a little taller than me. He graduated the year after me. He went to Eastern Oregon University, and then signed with Detroit as a free agent, and he played the year they made the playoffs.
Wow.
Yeah, and then he got traded to New England, and then after that, he was. I mean, a lot of stuff went down. It was just back and forth, like the business side of things in the NFL, and he kind of got tired of it. But yeah, he caught touchdown passes and everything. He scored a couple times in the NFL. So,
that's awesome, dude. Wow.
And he's not much. He's probably 2 inches taller than me, and I mean, when he went to the NFL, he got pretty big. Like, and he's still fast. Man, he ran a 4.340.
Holy shit! How much did he weigh?
I bet he was like 180 at that point.
180, a little bit taller than you.
Man, dude, he might have been 190 to 195. Like,
he feels like a thick guy.
Oh, he's stacked. Fast as fuck, too.
Did he wrestle?
Yes. 4-time state champ.
One of those specimens.
Yeah, he's dude, so athletic. Yeah.
Oh, I hate those guys.
Yeah.
They're
dude,
terrifying.
he's a stud, man. If you type in Jay Spillingsley and watch some of his highlights in the NFL, he looks like you got all these big black boys, right? And then this little white kid, like an Edelman, like that. Wow. I thought he was going to be the next Edelman for sure.
I don't even know who that is. I don't really watch
Julian Edelman, like Tom Brady's.
Oh yeah,
little slot receiver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
I thought he was going to be one of those, but it's too bad NFL lost out on someone.
Dude, that gives you like a little bit of NFL credit because you threw passes to him.
Oh, I'd say all the time when I was watching him on TV, I was like, yeah, that was my
I
guy.
taught him that.
I threw him touchdown passes all the time. I'm not. There's a couple. There's a couple high school films where I literally drop back, I tilt my head up in the sky, just launch it 60 yards down the field as far as I could throw it, and Jace just runs right under it. I just close my eyes, throw prayer up there.
You feel like he made it easy? You just threw
I
it as hard as you could.
I threw it wherever he was, and he'd go up and get it. It didn't matter. I throw behind him, boom. I throw it in front of him, boom.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Dang, that must have been so awesome in high school. That's like the era where you're just dominant.
Yeah, like and I feel bad because I had like some other receivers. I didn't throw him the ball, but I just, man, it sounds bad, and I'm sorry, guys, but I just knew
like, guys,
if I threw it to Jace, he was going to catch the ball. Like, I had 150 yards throwing one game, and it was because Jace caught every single one of them. It was the one receiver. Yeah.
He boosted your stats.
Yeah. And then I had a big tight end too that he was like almost 7 feet tall. It was hard to miss him.
You guys had an athletic group of kids.
Our group there was a time period of like 4 years where we were really good in everything we did.
I mean, you even went on. Now you're doing your own sport too. What the fuck? How the hell did all this awesome sports story shit end up taking you to the rodeo?
Yeah, the rodeo world, man. I would have never guessed.
Would anybody else have guessed?
No, man. If you asked me when I was 19 years old,
19.
Yeah, because I didn't start till I was 21.
Why?
10 years ago, I started riding bucking horses.
Why 21? You just had a drink at a bar and you're like, this country, you were at that bar we were at.
No, I was catching.
What's their bar's name?
Anita's Bucking Bar.
Anita's Bucking Bar in Kimberly. That place.
I wasn't there yet. I wasn't there yet. I was catching bullpens for CSI.
Oh, okay. What does that mean?
So catching bullpens, like the catcher that warms up the pitcher before they go out. And pitch.
What the? I thought this was a rodeo term. No, it's baseball.
This is a baseball term. I was catching bullpens, and I was catching a lot of them, and catching bullpens sucks. That's the shittiest job.
Really?
And my knees were getting bad, and I said, "Fuck this! I don't want to do this anymore." So I walked across the street to the expo center and joined the rodeo team.
That's all. That's literally.
Well, I told the coach. I said, "Hey, I want to ride bucking horses." And they're like, have you ever been on one? I said, no, but I come from a ranching family. I used to ride horses, but I really want to get on a bucking horse and see what it's like. And they're like, we have a lot of these kids come in. So I went home and I got on one. I had my uncle fix up a saddle and I got on one and I sent him the video. That coach called me and was like, hey, I think we got a spot for you out this rodeo team. So I walked on and then I got a scholarship the next year. And then all of a sudden, 3 years later, I graduate and I finish in the top 30 in the world. And then the next year I finish 11th in the world.
What?
And now, but man, I haven't made it back since 2019. So now that's where I'm at. I'm trying to make it back to the finals.
What is that? What was the first ride like? You sound so confident. Like you're like, hey, uncle, give me a horse. I gotta send this guy a video.
This is the weird part is I remember like the first 10 horses I ever got on. And it happens pretty fast. If you ask a lot of kids starting out riding bucking horses, they black out. They don't remember much. I can remember jump for jump, what exactly happened, everything.
Why?
And I don't know. I honestly think this is what I was supposed to do. And I know I'm 31 now, but I think the later half of my career is going to be the best part of my career. Like I'm still learning and I'm still trying to become more consistent, figure a few things out. And once I do, I really think I'm going to be one of those guys that is just going to win everything. And the bronc riding right now is so tough. There's so many good bronc riders. But I know if I draw right and I take advantage of that and I become consistent, I'm going to win. I know that sounds bad, but.
That sounds like what winners say.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I'm going to show up and try and win every single time.
Yeah, all the difference that is made is the actions actually match up with the words. Mm-hmm. That's like a Mystic Mac, you know?
Yeah.
Where he's like,
don't talk about it, be about it.
Yeah, and everybody's like, oh, he's so arrogant, he's so cocky. And then when he does it, they're like,
oh, man, that guy can see into the future.
That's the difference between, I always like this quote from Ender's Game with the difference between bravery and stupidity is just the outcome. Mm-hmm. If you took a risk and it fails, you're stupid. If you took a risk and you win, you were brave.
Yep. But you got to risk it to get the biscuit.
Yeah, you got to risk it.
It always comes back to that.
But it's more fun that way. It was like, remember we were talking about what kind of world you'd want to live in? We don't want to live in a world that's more good than bad because the bad is what makes you stronger.
And that was a tough question. I didn't know. And then you started throwing a bunch of other shit at me, and I was like, man, once I start thinking about this, then I don't want to do that. But then you say this, and I was like, no, I want to do that. That was a tough question, man. You threw some hard balls at me that day.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Those are fun questions.
There
Interesting. You had good answers. I feel like I
because then you involved my family.
Yeah.
And then when you started involving my family, I was like, man, I don't know if I want to live that kind of life.
You sound like Liam Neeson off of Taking, like, then you involved my family.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit.
You've screwed up now.
Dude, yeah, that's the thing. Because life is great as long as your loved ones are involved. You want all the hardship as long as your loved ones are fine.
Yeah.
In the end.
Especially now having a kid. Oh, that puts a whole new twist
now
on
you
things.
Need the future to be good.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want that poor little girl to struggle or see me, her mom and me struggle. I don't want her to see that. I want to do everything I can to but I don't want to make life easy. I want it to be,
that's
I
what
want her to earn
for.
Everything. I don't want my little girl to wrestle. But
that's popular now for girls, dude.
I know. And there are some tough girls out there. There are some very cool tough girls. Yeah.
If they want to, they want to.
Yeah, if they want to. I think my little girl's going to be a basketball star.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think she's going to have some handles. She's got
how
big
old is
hands.
She now?
6 weeks. I've already got big future for it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So, having a kid changes life for sure.
Is it just more, you just got to be more protective?
Yes and no. Like, I think you can't, I want to be protective, but at the same time, you don't want to be too protective because I still think we need to learn. Like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Does she ride a bike without a helmet?
My wife will say no. I'll say, hey, she's got to jump on and ride over to her uncle's house and she don't put her helmet on. Like, shit happens. You know? I almost got on the motor. I have a little pit bike that I change water with at my place. And I had the little dad carrier. Yeah. And I had her in there and I want to rip that dirt bike bad with her in there. And my wife looks at me every time and said, don't you do it. You are not riding that dirt bike with her on there. And I'm like, I'll go slow.
I think it comes down to a statistical probability.
Yeah.
Right? Because if it's every time you ride that thing, you never crash. So it's like very likely, like your kid on a bike, if they ever hurry up to their uncle's, and they've made that trip so many times, you see they're good on the bike, you can think they're probably not going to crash. This probability is very low that they're going to crash. And if it does, shit happens. Yeah. Because you can't just bubble wrap all of life and avoid all probability. So you have to draw a line of, is it likely? Then if it's likely, I should worry about it. If it's not likely, depending how much, then maybe ease up a little bit, and you don't have to be a bubble parent.
Yeah. I don't want that kid to be a statistic either. You know, it's like,
let me run the numbers real quick.
Yeah.
Put the helmet on.
Yeah. But it's something special, man. And it's hard to describe unless you've actually experienced it. It's one of those things. Like, I can't experience and tell you exactly what it's like. Like, if someone wants to have kids, and I hope everybody can experience having a child one day, because it is so special. So special.
I mean,
does it scare you?
I mean, I want to experience the love.
Yes.
But I think fear of how much fear I will have.
It's scary.
Because especially, like, I had just come back from Bosnia, and I was talking to, my wife's family and their uncles. Her uncle was in a concentration camp during Bosnia in the 90s, and talking about how his leg got shattered with a grenade, and he had to follow, everyone left in the middle of the night. He had to follow them. He had to put his own stilts on. He had to follow like a trail of grass to try to find them, and them rolling up in these crazy journeys where one time they roll up to the city and there's just bodies of Bosnians because they would just line them up and execute their asses. It's crazy. It's dark. It's such a dark story. And I talked to him about trying to find the idea of what strength, what advice of strength can you give for someone who may be going through that situation someday, like how to get through it. And it kind of came down to just the chaos factor. I was trying to even get to the root of like what his beliefs are in faith, having gone through such traumatic experience, for him. And everyone's is going to be different. But for him, he said he had a guy that would pray to Allah every morning, 5 times prayer all the time, was super religious. And he wasn't religious. He didn't really care. He just whatever. He was just in survival mode. He says instinct.
Right.
You don't think about things. You're just surviving.
Yeah.
And he's like, he ended up dying. So God, he was the most godly guy, and he ended up dying, and he didn't even pray to God at all. He lived. So it's just like, there's a chaos factor that he accounts for. It's just shit. How it goes is how it goes.
Yeah.
You think you're going to put a shield over you somehow by this prayer or something, but it's not. It's chaotic.
Yeah. Yes. Yep.
It gives you, especially probably here in America where we haven't had war on our turf. We haven't had to
we think we live in a bad country right now. Man, go somewhere else and see what other countries are going through. We live in a pretty good country right now. I mean, I know there's some things that we could fix, right? Every country could fix something. Yeah. But honestly, we're pretty fortunate here.
And I mean, in terms of how competitive things get, for us, it's still just at a lower political level. It's not at a survival level.
Right.
Because, I mean...
Yeah, we're not out here trying to... I mean, we're here to survive, but we're not surviving like those guys in other countries.
Yeah. And war-torn. Once war breaks out, and war breaks out. Plato said...
It's life or death for them every single day. Even when they're sleeping, those guys are trying to stay alive in those other countries.
Yeah. Also he told me, he's like, it's like if I grabbed a can of food and you're like, can I have some? Like, I'm hungry. Can I have a bite? Like, yeah, here. And then they just throw it as hard as they can at your head to try to kill you. It's either, you got out of the way, you caught it, or you just got hit in the head and died. It's about your instinct, and you're not thinking. It's just, what did you do?
Yeah.
And it ended up coming. That's how your survival comes into fruition a little bit in war. Is like, how did you react? Where did your instinct take you? And some people have the instinct, and some people are just going to get smacked in the head with the can and die.
Yes.
And then there's just the straight chaos factor. You could be the most well-versed soldier, the best,
and it still happens, and still get hit in the head,
get a bullet, and all the training went out the window. Just chaos. Chaos isn't comfortable though; it's scary.
Chaos is very scary,
but it seems like it's the order of the universe. The only way everything.
I kind of like chaos sometimes.
It's the only
Do you
way
like
things.
Chaos?
It's the only way things grow. Like, if in terms even from evolution, to the birds eating the bugs, to the snakes eating the birds, to us killing the snake, to the snake biting us, everything is just us in a competition everywhere. Everything is constantly trying to survive over the other. And even for humans, we think we're in this civilization where it's like, we're finally at a place for world peace. We're the apex predators. We have nothing to worry about. But we have to worry about ourselves. The other apex predator wants to kill the other apex predator. We're all apex predators.
It's a dog eat dog world, man.
And our level of competition in this food chain is each other. That's what it boils down to, our tribe versus your tribe. And that's what makes us level up our technology, level up everything, because we're trying to get, like the birds, how everything, like Galapagos Islands, how everything evolves. Our way of evolving is challenging each other to level up our technology pretty much.
And that's the only way we get better.
But then we reach a point where we make a bomb that can blow up the world.
Yeah, that's... Why would we create something like that and then use it like, oh, if you guys don't do this, we're going to send... we're gonna I don't know,
dude. That's the thing that I'm honestly, I like the way. Did you watch the debate?
Yes.
That's the thing I like Trump saying about. He's like, nuclear bombs. That's the thing no one wants to talk about. It's a scary word. People aren't talking about it. And I'm like, facts, dude. Like literally, that's a thing looming over all of us. We're all born with a gun to our head, and we get used to the fact that we could all die at any second. And it's like, it's normal. It's normal. They won't pull the trigger
until they do.
Yeah, and it's like they might.
Dude, who knows?
That's the part of deterrence. Like you don't the deterrence factor of nuclear bombs, where it's they won't shoot a nuke because we have a nuke. The only way that deterrence actually works is if the threat that you will actually do it is implanted in the idea of the enemy. If the enemy starts to believe they won't push it, then there's no deterrence factor to it. You have to actually have someone crazy enough to feel like that fucker will push it. Then that creates a deterrence. Mm-hmm. Okay, we can't do it. They might actually fucking push that and nuke us. Otherwise, there's no threat, and then the enemy nukes you.
Yeah, man, I try and stay out of all that shit just because it's a headache sometimes.
It's just like thinking about Yellowstone.
Yeah.
It's like,
I don't think about Yellowstone.
We don't need to think about that. Just if it happens, it happens. Let's just keep living.
Nah, yeah.
But the thing is, for me, in these crucial years coming up, dude, me personally, ever since RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard have backed up Donald Trump, I feel like Donald Trump is the guy we need in negotiating with all these wars. It's a Western-Eastern war brewing in the horizon. It's like drums of war are happening.
At some point, you need someone that's going to kind of be... I mean, I know Trump can get a little ignorant sometimes in what he says. But, man, at some point, you need someone that's going to be able to take control and be that person that man, sometimes you don't like your boss, right? Like the person that is in control, like sometimes he's an asshole, right? Your coach, sometimes he's an asshole, right? But he's trying to make us better in some way.
You need to be an asshole sometimes, especially as a leader.
Yes, as a leader, you're going to be seen as an asshole. But it doesn't have to be
asshole. It has to be firm.
Firm. But some people don't like firm, and then people think, "Oh,
they take firm as asshole." Yeah, yes,
and yeah, man.
I mean, I like hearing about the deal he made. How he got all of the NATO to start paying us.
I know, isn't that nuts?
I'm like, damn, that's gangster though.
Like, it's about time someone pay us.
Yeah, that's the shit. I'm like, damn. I like that.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I'm like, I like that.
Yeah,
they were using that as like a diss. I'm like, I'm happy he did that. Honestly. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I give it's the foreign relations, and the thing is, I feel like Kamala Harris, she seems intelligent, she seems kind, and I think she caters to the feeling of compassion and tenderness. That we need compassion and tenderness in this country, which in humanity in general, we do need compassion and tenderness in humanity. But when the drums of war on the Western Front
you'll get
brewing,
rolled over. When you're like that, if you have someone like that, those are the people that get walked over.
You have men, big, like men of the old days kind of men, like Putin in the horizon, wanting to take out the West. In China, wanted to take out the Xi Jinping. We got Kim Jong-un. We got men that don't give a fuck. They kill people on the regular.
Yeah.
Like hard men. And then we're going to send a compassionate, tender woman to go
They're going to walk all over us.
We need our own man.
Yes. We need someone there like, oh, damn, we don't want to screw with him.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
I don't think the world, I would love the idea of world peace, but I don't think the world isn't there yet. We're very progressive in America, and it's great. We should be accepting each other. But when your enemies out there are developing themselves to be strong, tough, and
they're trying to be better than us,
you got to be willing to step up. Like it's like a bad guy with a gun. Like we could be like, hey guys, we don't want guns, and the bad guys are like, all right, and then the bad guys have guns. You're gonna need good guys with guns. You gotta
sooner or later you are,
yeah, or you're gonna get rolled over.
Yes.
So you need that same energy. You need to have the weapon of your own.
Yeah.
If they got all these crazy powerful men, we need our own crazy powerful men to go into the rooms and not take shit.
Yeah, and I'm not saying there's not a woman out there that couldn't do that job. I mean, there's probably a scary woman out
Barbara
there that
from Shark Tank.
Yeah, man.
Have you ever watched Shark Tank?
Yeah.
Barbara.
There's some scary women out there that probably could roll over some men.
I like Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
I thought I've seen a Joe Rogan podcast with her, and she seems so smart. She seems like, I mean, she's a veteran. She's been to war. Seems like a strong woman that is intelligent and not part of the system that's the pharmaceutical and industrial war complex system.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to go to war. All of a sudden, the entire left has turned into the freaking war hungry people. But it's in the name of good. You know,
Yeah.
that's how it always is. It's in the name of good.
I don't think that's politics, man. That's never good.
The thing is, maybe if you support the war, you should put a helmet on and grab a gun and go.
Yeah.
Go help fight the war. You believe in it.
Hey, let's see how many people actually do that.
Yeah.
Right?
No, just keep sending taxpayer money.
Yeah.
I don't want to go.
No.
That war's not that important to me.
Man. Politics.
It's the social media important level, not actual real world. Give me a gun. I'm going to go fight for what I believe in war.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Do you think at some point we'll see something on our turf, our home turf?
I don't think it would be after we get EMP'd, I think. After the electric grid goes down and we don't have a way to communicate and everyone's like, what are we doing? We can't pump gas. The groceries are all rotting. Who's getting the food? Who's gets what?
Man, that's wild shit. I can't see that happening. Can you?
I mean, it can happen.
Yes, it can.
Well, they got hypersonic nuclear missiles now, which our defense systems aren't able to keep up with hypersonic missiles.
And you know,
so they could
way
explode
more shit about that.
They could explode a nuclear bomb above our atmosphere, and it would EMP our grid, and we wouldn't have electricity, and our cars would die, and everything. We'd just be fucked for a while. Like, and hopefully, I don't know if we have plans for that. That's the thing. That's what's freaky. It's like, what if all of a sudden all the power went out, and a week passes, everyone's groceries are going bad. The pumps aren't working. People aren't getting water going all of a sudden. The food's gone. The grocery store food has gone bad. The delivery trucks can't make it.
I'll be all right out on my place.
Yeah, there's some people around there. Honestly, the smaller the community, the better. The easier self-sufficiency can happen. But because you're going to need transportation, people can't pump gas into their cars out and make it hundreds of miles to come bring your groceries. I mean, every single day you can go into any town, grocery place in all of our country and find fruits and milks and everything from all over the world. Every day, fresh fruit. This is a tomato from Peru. It just got harvested. Here's a orange from Argentina. Here's some spices from Europe. Here's some noodles and rice from Japan. You know what I mean? And it's every day it's available because we just are just locked in the transport.
Take that away.
And then boom, it's gone.
Oh no.
Well, everyone go line up at the potato farm.
Yeah. Just start walking through the potato fields.
I mean, just in the
cornfields.
In the 1900s, Mao is one of the Chinese communist crazy fucks. And I think the number's like, it was over 10 million for sure. I want to say like 100 million, but millions and millions of people in China starved to death because of the famine. And then they didn't have their systems in place and everyone starved. Millions of people. That's such a big number. It's such a big number. You can't even really wrap your mind around it it. But it would never be us. We're not part of that. That's those poor people problems. We're in America, baby. Yeah. That shit is just in the movies.
Until it's not.
Exactly. I mean, and especially like me being close to a Bosnian, my Bosnian family now. Mm-hmm. It's just like that should just happen. That was just 1990s. They were literally they were exterminating people. People would argue that shit. I mean, let's look over in Europe and in Middle East. That shit is happening. North Korea, South Korea, Palestine, Israel, Ukraine, Russia.
It's brutal, man.
Yeah, it's a rough one. Yeah. So, do you know much? You don't pay attention to that shit much, huh?
No,
it just gets you depressed, right?
It does. I don't like to think about that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, but then I also think about there's this quote, Panem Circenses, and it's this Roman poet philosopher writing about Panem meaning bread and Circenses meaning circuses. And you give the people Panem and Circenses, give them the bread, some food, and give them circuses, entertainment. They'll forfeit their political responsibilities and you can just rule right over them. And that's like America in a nutshell. Look at all of us getting fat. It's so easy. Dude, in Bosnia, $10 a gallon for gas. That's the norm.
I wouldn't be rodeoing. I wouldn't be traveling to rodeos that kind of price.
Yeah. That's what I'm excited about too. Trump makes some good trade deals.
Yeah. Man, he's going to help the country. I wish people just...
But a lot of people do like Kamala. I've realized. I didn't think they would. I didn't think they would, especially after the assassination attempt. I was like, oh, it's in the bag. After RFK Jr. dropped out and joined Trump, I was like, dude, I like RFK Jr. I read his book, The Real Anthony Fauci. Holy dude, that book made me just super like anti-pharmaceutical because he just pulls out straight up facts that are said by the FDA and said by, he's pulling out all their quotes and just slapping in your face of how fucked up it all is, and they're just experimenting and making profits on people. It's crazy. I'm like, I don't know what. Damn, dude. I'm like, dude, they just injected the shit out of me in the military, and I'm like, oh fuck. Hopefully,
I don't know what's bad. Yeah, I was like, what are they
just
putting?
Line
in
up,
me?
get vaccines, but they just make deals, and you just sell a bunch, and you're making a shit ton. Like, we get the most vaccines by like over double out of all the Western countries in America. It's just
that's nuts.
We're crazy. The pharmaceutical company's got its fingers in America, and that's RFK Jr. is super against. He points it out. He's definitely against the system. Yeah, and it's a problem. It's like it comes from the line of family where when you get too loud about being against the system.
Yep.
Kennedy, obviously President Kennedy, and it just feels similar kind of vibes of what's happening to Trump. With
he's trying to exploit everything, and oh man, it was just a matter of time till we seen something try and take place.
Dude, and you know what's funny, because they'll probably take the big ridiculous sound bites like they're eating dogs and fucking.
Oh yeah, when he said that, I was like,
but
I was like, man,
I believe he saw a snip that said that, because he's like on the TV has said that there was people being interviewed saying that their dogs are gone missing and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, honestly, like I feel like he might have saw that. Maybe he saw that, and he's an old guy too.
Yeah, he's like, we stole this dog. We had to cook him up on the barbecue.
At least he's watching the news and saying some shit about it. Unlike our current president, where the fuck is he? Who is he?
Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, what happened to him? Is he gone?
I guess, like, who's running the country?
He's chilling on the couch, eating some cereal, man, just chilling.
And that's the ultimate point
he's
about
in a nursing home.
Yeah, but pretty much. If he feels like he needs to be soon, it's sad. But anyways, Kamala Harris. Fuck, what's Oh, I lost my train of thought on that one. Trump. Oh, the thing about Kamala Harris. Trump said something that I feel like just resonates with me. And I know it's more complicated than this, but he's like, you talk about all these changes you're going to do. You should just go after this, go to the White House and start making these changes.
And do them right now.
You're in the fucking White
you're
House.
there. You can do it right now.
Exactly.
So why not? Why not do that? Why not, fracking and
I have a plan.
Yes.
I have a plan.
Well, you're there, so do it.
Yeah, that's literally it. Like,
that's what's so frustrating.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's why I'm surprised that people really don't see that though. I'm like, what? Because I know it's just people hate Trump. They hate Trump so much.
Everybody hates a winner.
Not humble, quiet little winners, but Trump's a loud guy.
Yes.
And he definitely has no filter.
Yes.
And he's good at roasting. He's a roast king.
I was just watching last night and wondering, all right, when's he going to snap? When's he going to snap?
He's good off the cuff, dude.
Oh, yeah.
He just can hit you back with the roast. He's witty.
Yeah. And I just knew sooner or later. And then when she started saying stuff about how he was handed a silver platter, with $400 million, and then he went bankrupt and this, and I was like, oh no, he's gonna lose it right here.
He got some jabs in every now and then.
Yeah, he did. I don't know. It frustrates me watching those things because I just want to see someone do what they say. That's all I want. I don't care what you are, Democrat, Republican, whatever. If you're going to say something that you're going to do, just do it. And if it's the best for the country, do it. Do what's right. That's all. That's what it comes down to, right or wrong. And there is a lot of wrongdoing.
Just who's the least corrupted.
Yes.
And to me, I feel like if you're going to be attached to the Democratic Party who just dropped Joe Biden like he's nothing and threw Kamala out there, like what? I feel like they're
what's right.
They were the ones that were crazy about masks, the Democratic Party,
everything
in like not like people, but like the actual party that puts up the person for their nominee to go. That fucking system. Those people, I feel like, are just bought out by the. They should have put Robert Kennedy Jr. up as the Democrat. They didn't let him. They should have put Tulsi Gabbard up. They didn't let him. I mean, even Bernie Sanders, they kicked his ass. They choose a specific person that can be their puppet. Yeah. And then they make all these pharmaceutical deals and industrial war complex deals. And that's the problem I have. I feel like that's probably like some Jeffrey Epstein shit. You know what I mean? That's the fucking big boy money shit. Oh, yeah. That's the big boy game.
Too big for my head to wrap around.
There's some sneaky shit going on. And I feel like Trump, at least he's not a typical politician, you know? And he's got Robert Kennedy Jr., who's also a rebel against the system. Yep. And that makes me feel confident more so that they won't be there won't be the corruption, which is the root of it. Who's the good person? Who's gonna be a good person? Yeah, Trump's an asshole, but I feel like maybe he's less likely to be corrupted because he's got his own money. He doesn't need this shit.
Yeah, exactly.
And now he's got RFK Jr. behind him.
Yep.
And Tulsi Gabbard, I feel like are trustworthy, honorable people.
I guess we'll see come November.
Yeah. All right, anyways, back to rodeo. Let's get back to rodeo. What you got coming up? What's your story? What's
right now the season's kind of coming to an end.
Really?
Yeah, September 30th is the end of the regular season. And then October 1st, the new season, the 2025 season starts. I'm not going to make the finals right now. So I'm going to kind of get healed up, get my body rejuvenated, feeling good. And then I've got a plan on how I'm going to rodeo this next year.
Oh, yeah?
And
when does that season start?
October 1st.
October 1st.
Yep. So I'll start entering new season rodeos right away. And that money will count towards the 2025 standings.
Okay. When is the finals?
December.
Oh shit! So they overlap each other.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. So the new season's going on, and those guys that make the finals, they can still rodeo for the new season. And it's kind of weird how they overlap and it works. But the rodeo world, the season never ends.
Is the rodeo world kind of secretive with their training tech approaches?
No.
Is it pretty upfront? What is it like?
Well, I don't know, man. Sometimes the PRCA can be kind of corrupt in some of the stuff they're doing. Yeah, I don't agree with what everything goes on in the PRCA. That's a whole nother level that I really don't care to talk about. But I just I'll just keep
good vibes around.
Yeah, I just take care of my business and do my job and try to be the best that I can be.
Well, I ask because you say you're going to get rejuvenated and change, like your approach. I think you were kind of hinting that you're going to do something different.
Yes.
Can you share?
Yeah. So I'm going to rodeo a little more in the fall and get money won. So then I'm in the top of the world standings early on. And then not rodeo as much in the winter. Like go to only the big rodeos in the winter. And so I'm not going to be away from home as much come January, February. I'd like to be home a little more because when you leave for Texas, the year I made the finals in 2019, I was gone for 56 days.
Oh yeah.
And I just got married. That's tough being away from your loved ones.
Have you ever heard of this quote? It's love is the killer of duty.
I haven't.
Do you feel there's any weight to that?
Say it again.
Love is the killer of duty. Maybe you want to go to war, but once you got love involved, I don't want to go to war no more.
So now that I got love, I don't want to go rodeo as much.
That's what I'm insinuating, obviously.
Yeah. And
do you think that's a possibility? Do you think that's anything that could hinder you?
No. If anything, well, just being away from home, it gets tough, right?
Or maybe it gives you strength being able to be around love more.
Yeah. I think it could work both ways. You see that with some rodeo athletes, like they don't like being away from home and their loved ones, so it takes away from them rodeoing.
So I guess what really matters is the repetitions. How much do the repetitions matter in this sport?
Like the repetitions of
experience and getting on the horse and going.
Big time. I'm still getting on, like when I leave here, I'm going to go get on a practice horse tonight at my house. So I try and get on as much as I can. Some guys are different. Some guys, they just visualize a lot. practice wise.
And how do you think that's?
I don't know. I guess whatever
that won't work
works,
in wrestling.
No, I guess whatever works for you. I mean, it's hard to. I ride the best when I'm getting on every single day, and right now I'm not getting on every single day, so that's why I think I'm not riding as good as I probably should be.
So, in regards to now, you will get a little bit less riding in the winter. Is that gonna affect
No,
you?
because I want to save more rodeos throughout the summer months.
Okay.
Because I'm only allotted 100 rodeos to count
Oh.
towards the total money at the end of the season. So go to fewer winter rodeos, but just the big rodeos, and then really hit it hard in June, July, August, where I'm getting on almost every single day.
Damn.
That's what I want. Because I think you can win more money in the summer months than you can. I mean, some guys have great winners and they come out with, 80 to 100,000 just in those 2 months. And then I really think that those summer months, though, I mean, I just saw a guy in the month of July win $100,000, 3 weeks.
Whoa.
Win 100,000.
That is so enticing.
So
like,
that's
damn,
where it's
like,
man,
horse.
it can happen. Like it has to be your year to do that, right? That's a record number that I don't think we'll see until a lot of the money gets upped at some of these rodeos. But man, could you imagine 100,000 in 3 weeks riding bucking horses?
Yeah, that's insane. That seems.
And that's just not bucking horses. I mean, there's team ropers and timed event people that are pulling in 34 or 40,000 in a month. So.
Damn, dude, do you ever give thought to, because I mean, are you just going to ride bucking horses for the rest of your, like, is there a point where you're like, damn, this is going to like hurt me? What's like the lifespan career of a bucking horse rider?
Man, 49.
Or really? Oh, that's a pretty long time.
I know a guy that's rode till he's 49.
Oh, really?
Years old. I mean, they're not being real competitive.
Oh, yeah. Well, how about competitive levels?
I'd say 39, 40 years old.
Oh, really?
Right there. I don't plan on. I plan on 36, 37 years old.
Interesting. Any in particular reason for not going to 39?
We'll see how my body is. If my body's great, and,
well, you're starting to break
but
a little.
I don't want to miss my kid growing up either.
Oh, you're such a good guy.
I want to be
big
there.
Heart. The heart's
I want to
pulling
be there.
you.
And then if I have multiple kids, then I want to be there to help my wife, and I want to be there to play catch with them and go to their basketball and their football games and take them to junior rodeos. And I want to be that dad. And if I'm going to miss that, I don't think rodeo's that important. I'm not going to miss anything with my kids like that.
Did you have that kind of dad?
Yes. I'm very, very fortunate. I'm not going to say lucky. Fortunate.
Probably a little bit of luck.
Both parents, man. Both parents. They do anything in the world for us, my brother and myself. And I mean, took us to practice. We never missed summer ball games. They would take time out of their own schedule, miss work, get us to these tournaments. They sacrificed a lot for us. And so a part of me in my career, I want to be able to give back to them. I mean, both my parents are retired now. They get to come watch me a little bit more at some of these bigger rodeos. But somehow I want to be able to give back to them and make life easier for them. I mean, we live a pretty good life. We really do. But I still want to give back to them.
And now you are trying to get your kids to feel the same way.
Yes, I want to do the same thing. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes my dad's an asshole. Just how we were talking.
You need an asshole.
You need an asshole. And I think that's why my brother and I are so successful, is because my dad and my mom, they were assholes when they needed to be, and my dad still is an asshole.
Dude, think about this with me for a sec. Can you think of an instance where comfort builds growth, other than in photosynthesis? I guess, like plants, they want a nice cozy environment, but they won't be strong. You could pull them right out of the ground if they're in a too easy of an environment. Same
with us.
Yeah. So you need to have some sort of resistance.
What's that quote? Tough times create strong men. Strong men create easy times. Easy times create weak men.
And weak men create tough times.
And then it just starts over.
Yeah.
So you see in some of these families, and I'm not saying all families, okay? Sometimes there is a kid that gets passed down, say a family business. It's very successful. You have this kid that gets passed down the business, okay? He's pretty lazy with it, takes advantage of what his parents gave him. All of a sudden, that business tanks. But then you see some families that they pass down and that kid continues working hard and keeps building the business. I guess it just depends on how your parents raised you.
If the roots don't get if the turf is more tough and the roots get in, it's going to hang on. If it's really loose and easy, get these with the first gust of wind's going to blow you over. You need resistance.
Yes.
That makes you grounded in.
Yep.
But if the resistance is too strong, you won't even be able to put your roots and you just die.
Yep.
Where's the balance? Right at there's people who will die at weaker levels of resistance.
Resistance.
And then
Some
there's
people
like David
love
Goggins.
the resistance. Yeah, it's like, oh, how are roots supposed to go on this table? Well,
And then David Goggins comes.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Well, if I keep doing this, sooner or later, it's gonna go through. You know,
they break through it eventually.
And I like that to a point, but then there's, oh man, that's a different guy, man.
Yeah.
That's a different guy.
How do you keep him alive as you're going into this new level of life where you're going to be surrounded by love?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I can't tell you that.
Because like fighting, at least in boxers and stuff, you'll see them where they just like they get loved ones and stuff, and then I just don't got it anymore. Or even like there's one fighter who had like went and done ayahuasca, and then after that he was like, after that experience, I just don't have the rage in me that I used to, and retired.
I guess when you lose it, you lose it.
That's weird. Isn't that weird? Because
how you can lose that feeling, that drive for what you used to love.
But the thing is, it's almost your strength gets redistributed to a different place.
Your heart.
All that
like that like you're saying love.
Yeah, all that passion to win in that sport or something. Maybe for like that boxing, if they have a loved one, for instance, they would be all that passion would go to the people they love instead. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like it's because you only have so much time, and then you have to decide where am I putting it.
Time goes real fast.
Yeah, especially as you get older.
And I've seen that.
Yeah,
I've seen, and now that I have this kid, like time, boom, tick, tick, tick.
And then when we're the elders, I was talking to Don about that. I was like, "What's it like?" Because they're talking about how they're like the old folk kind of. And I was like, "What's it like now that you transitioning to now you guys are the elders? Your generation's the elders. Is that a weird transition?" And he gave me a funny answer that I won't embarrass him with. He's a funny guy, but that is strange. Where it's like once our parents go, because it's like the grandparents are mostly gone at this point, so that means our parents are the elders now. Mm-hmm. Once they go, we're the elders, and we're the next up on the chopping block.
That's crazy to think about, man. But it's real life. It's real life.
And then you start realizing that time's going quick because you see your ending is coming.
That's why I try and take advantage of every single day. Like I feel guilty if I don't do something to if it's not going towards any of my goals or dreams or something. I feel guilty that I didn't do the best I could that day.
Dude, you seem like you've had a pretty good head on your shoulders, almost like since high school. I was a big fuck up, dude. It took me forever to figure shit out. I was screwing everything up, burning bridges.
Yeah, man. This is how I've thought from day one, to be completely honest. Really? Yeah, like there's some times where I get off track, but then I get reined back in. And I'm not saying I like off track. I remember I'd go out when I got to college, I'd go out and I'd party, and then I'd feel like shit the next day, and I still do it. Right? I'm always thinking, man, someone doesn't feel like shit and they're getting better than me. So I have that guilty conscience, and then I'm trying to make up for that day. And that's why I'm like, man, that's a wasted day. Why waste a day?
Do you feel like you have another voice in your head? Like a one that's like a motivated, disciplined version that tells you what to do, and then another voice that's just lazy?
No. There's not a lot of lazy.
So it's just, you're just fully conscious at this point.
Like dude, I think some of the stuff that I'm like, if I don't get some stuff done, I'm being lazy, but I'm really not. Like I've got a lot done. Some people would see that I did a shit ton of work that day, but to me, I'm like, oh man, I could have got this done, or I could have got one more thing done. And I always.
So that is like the other voice.
I guess.
That's like the other voice. Because I was thinking about the pattern of like, I know Joe Rogan has said that he imagines like a documentary crew following him, and what would he be doing if there was people he knew were documenting him to show his kids or something of what he did, and so it makes him more motivated, and that's kind of like an outer voice.
That's kind of like,
perspective.
Yeah, I kind of
it's like an outer perspective is frowning upon you, and you need to level up.
Yes.
And like David Goggins, he has like the hardcore David Goggins in his mind, where he's like, "Get the fuck up, we got to get up and go." And the other part, he just doesn't want to, but he had that voice in the back of his mind is telling him, "Get your ass up. I know you're comfy. It doesn't matter. Get up, go." So it's almost like this. Like
I wish I had almost that David Goggins at some points, because I do find myself. I guess I do. I have two voices in my head. You know, more leaning towards the get up and go, go. The lazy's not.
It's almost just like your biological default impression. You know, just what you do. It's like I think how the Bible references what we're like born of sin. We're sinful nature. We have a sinful nature. Mm-hmm. We want to be gluttonous. We want to eat all the fucking food. We want to be a sloth. We want to just lay around and be easy.
Yeah, I'm not.
We want to be lustful. We want to check out all the chicks, you know? But then there's the divine spirit that you have to level up to that conquers your biological desires. When you say, I'm not going to be a glutton. I don't want to be a fat person anymore. I see a donut. Glutton, you're done.
Right.
We're being skinny now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a married man now. I see a girl walking by, lustful guy, we're done.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like everything. Sloth, you're done. I know you want to just sit around and be lazy. You feel entitled. A default program to want to just do that. But your divine conscious mind has to go, nope. We're doing a new thing now.
Yep. And that's hard sometimes to get on that new path.
That's probably the hardest thing in life to do, I bet. Mm-hmm. To conquer that. I mean, the only person that's probably got to conquer some fucking monk meditating on the top of Mount Everest.
Just sitting there. No mask,
I
no
have
clothes.
no desires at all. Levitating.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think if we can be aware of it, then at least you can make steps towards it.
Yeah.
Because some
That's
people
like
are
every
out there
day.
not doing shit. You can tell they're just following their wrath. They're following their gluttony tendencies. They don't even try to be in control of their biological.
Like every day I am getting better in some way. Whether it be 10%, 1%, I mean.
I'm pushing yourself through the suffering, like through wrestling. That's literally conquering one of the principles of those virtues. Like the sins, you know, the 7 deadly sins, like sloth. Mm-hmm. Wrestling destroys sloth. And once you destroy it, it's all the same thing. It's a mental capability of saying, we're doing this, even if you don't want to, we're doing it anyways.
Yeah.
And then once you have that, you can just put that onto all the other aspects. But maybe it's just being aware of how to put your energy into each aspect. See,
and I've got good energy. I think that's what feeds me, that energy.
I think that's probably what just makes you just a generally overall good guy, because the wrestling, you just got that shit instilled into you, and so now you're actually conscious. You're not out there just being an asshole, going off of wrath and all this shit. You're pretty self-aware. Because I was gonna ask if you could even give yourself advice back in the day. Could you? Obviously, you got to be able to say something.
Damn. That's deep for me.
You just keep doing what you're doing, bro.
Well, no, because I want more than what I.
What could you say to enhance yourself back then? Something that you learned along the way, and
stay consistent. Stay consistent with whatever your mind is set on. You need to stay consistent. As soon as you start coming off that path of consistency, you're no longer consistent. And there's only one way to win, and that's being consistent. I truly feel. So stay consistent.
I think that's probably the most ultimate human advice. That's the thing that makes us special.
Let's for example, like if I'm going to say, I'm not going to drink anymore. Okay. I'm not going to drink or eat fast food or something like that. Let's just say drink. Okay. I'm not going to drink anymore. If I'm consistent for 3 months and I'm like, man, I'm feeling good. I'm doing because my mind's right, because I'm staying consistent. I haven't veered off. All of a sudden you have one drink, you've veered off, and now you're going to be mad at yourself And then when you're mad at yourself, it's going to start other things. And so now you're not consistent. You have to be consistent with everything you do. Studying, consistent. Riding, bucking horses, in my instance, I have to be consistent. There's only one way to win, and that is be consistent. That's what I'd tell myself.
Isn't that the truth, right? That shit is in everything. I feel like even with my own documentary career journey,
be consistent.
You just keep doing it. Like, you don't even know if it's going to work out, but if you just keep going.
If you stay consistent.
If you grow a little every day, if you grow just a little, it's even minuscule. It's like the gym. If you go, you're not going to see change in a week or months, but if you just never deviate, you will. You're going to look back over the years and go, holy shit, look how far I've come.
Consistency.
That's, it's so perfect for our canyon too. Take a look at this grand, huge ass canyon we live by. Consistent water.
Yeah. How's that form?
Is that what happened, right? Or the bottom of the floor? We're all dumb as hell.
I don't know all that.
But the geological formation of our city, we don't know. All we know is be consistent.
Yep.
Shit will fucking get better. As long as you get a little better.
Yep.
There's a saying, it was like, you're either getting better or you're getting worse, because you sure as hell are not staying the same.
I don't want to stay the same. And I don't want to get worse.
Yeah, same. I can feel my knees getting worse slowly.
Yeah.
So actually, you just said you were gonna do a backflip over at the bar, and you're like, no, my ankles.
Oh, dude, that's because I rolled my ankle in February. I got a fucked up ankle.
Oh
I ain't trying to, but I swear when it feels good, man, I'll flat-footed right there.
It's just injuries that take longer to recover from.
Sometimes.
I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
As you get older.
Yeah.
Because I feel great. I feel strong. I feel fast. But you don't want to risk injuries as much, because that shit will put you out.
Yes.
It's not worth it.
Yes.
Then you're not training and you're not getting better.
Yep.
Anyways, thank you for coming, Mitch. I really appreciate you.
Man. Finally made it happen.
Yes, dude. And we might be starting some fun projects.
Oh, man.
That's what I'm excited for, dude.
It's just a start.
And it's just,
remember what Don said? Remember the last line? A lot of ways. These boys are just getting started.
Exactly, dude. That's it. All right. Mitch Pollock, everybody. Peace out.
Yeah.